Hi, in this video we will learn how to use role-based access controls to secure our applications. For this purpose we will create a simple application. Let's call it RBAC. Okay. For the domain, subdomain, let's keep it like this. USIS for the environment location, free plan. Then we will be using the basic, which will create a default user model. Okay. Let's create our application. Let's get into the application. Okay, so what we will do is the following. We will have two user roles, one for admins and one for the members. And admins will have the option to view all the users, all the user information in the system. Members will be able to see only information that are associated with them. So a member will not be able to see other members' information. So for this purpose, what we will do is the following. Actually, we don't need to add the field, but for convenience purposes, let me put that one. Let's put here a role. We will be storing a text here. Okay, sorry, not full. It will be role. Sorry. Okay. So we will be creating 3 endpoints and associated services. One for creating admins, one for creating members, and one for getting the list of users. So let's start with creating an admin. Okay, create admin. Admin user, let's put it. For the paths, we'll put it admin, and the service will be create admin user service, and this will be a post method. Okay, that's one. Let's get into the service. As an input to this service, we will be getting a user object in the request body. The first thing we will be doing is we will be getting the object value from the request, the body of the request basically. We will be getting the body. Then after we get the body, we will be creating the user object in the database. Because as I mentioned, in the request body, we will be sending the JSON user object. We get the body. Then after we get the body, we will create that body, the user information in the database. Then after that one, we will be creating a session. Because in order to use the role-based access controls in AutoGIG, you need to have sessions, okay? So we will be creating a user session, okay? Then on the user session part, the user ID is coming from the created user ID, the user ID that we created in the database. And for the access group, what we will do is the following. We will be writing down here admin, okay? You can provide multiple, let's say, access group. These access groups, you can think of the access group as the roles, user roles. We can provide multiple roles if you want. That's, for example, I don't know, marketing organization or finance organization or whatever. But for this purpose, we will be marking this user as admin because we are creating an admin user. Then final step of the service will be, we will be returning back the session that we create plus the user that we created in the database. Okay, so this session, if I come back here, this is the user information. Okay, that's it. So this is create admin user service. So let's create another version of this one. Let's create a copy of this one, and this will be create member user service. The only change we are making here is the following. Instead of admin, we will be providing member. Okay, that's it. Then we also need to create the endpoint for this one. Create members user. This will be again a post request. In this case, we will be using member path, and rooted service will be created not admin user but member user. Let me see. Hold on a second. Sorry, this is maybe I didn't press enter here. If I press enter, then it will save this one. Okay, let me go back to here. Create member user. It's using the create member user service. Create admin user. Create admin user. Let me make sure that this is member. That's fine. Perfect. Fine. Okay. So let's create a couple of users in the database, right? Let's go to tester. Let's wait for it to launch, a couple of seconds. Okay, so let's start with creating an admin user. We don't need the provider user ID. Let's put here, let's say admin@email.com. Name is admin. Passwords, let's provide the password, 6 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let me copy this thing also. Let's run this thing. Okay, we created the user in the database, and as you can see, access group is marked as admin. Okay, so let's run this for the member. This one, members. Okay, we've got another session with the access group key member. Okay, so let's pin this thing. Let's go back to here. So we will be creating another service called get users service. Okay, and this service will be returning back the list of the users in the system. So we will be using get multi-objects by query. This is basically returns a list of objects from the database, and it provides pagination. So by default, we will be getting the first 20 users. Then we will be getting the users data from the users. Then as a response, we will be returning back the list of users in the database. Okay, so that's it. Then endpoints, let's create an endpoint for this one. Get users. This will be get. This will be users path. You can give any path, any name you want. Then the service will be get user service. Then this one enabled. I will not be putting the session required yet. I will just show you how it is working. Let's go back here, get users. If I run this thing, as you can see, I get both information about admin and the member. Okay, so how we enforce role-based access controls? First thing we need to do is the following. We need to go to the application settings, okay? And we need to go to the access groups, and we need to define our roles here. So the first role will be admin, and its access key will be admin. Let me put here the name, the admin, the access key, the group key that we provide here should match with the ones that we used while we are creating the sessions. This is admin, and the second one is basically members, and this will be members. So how we enforce the role-based access controls? So we will be applying the role-based access controls to this endpoint, saying that in order to enforce this one, we need to have the session enabled. Okay. Then we need to say that, hey, this endpoint, the list of users, can only be called by a user with an admin role. Okay. The members will not be able to call this endpoint. Okay. Let's update this thing. Let's get back to here. If I try to run this thing, it will give an error because I'm not providing a session token here. Okay, session header. Let's use the session token of the member. Okay, this is the session token for a members object. Let's go back here. Let's put back to here. Let's run this thing. As you can see, user entity session roles are not authorized to process the request. So the role is not matching because this is a member. Let's use the session token with admin. Okay, this is the admin guy. Okay, so if I copy paste this thing here, if I run this thing, as you can see, the admin has successfully retrieved the list of objects from the database, whereas the member, which doesn't have any access rights, couldn't able to retrieve the list of the objects from the database. If you would like to change this one, like say that, hey, members can also get the information. If I come back here, if I copy paste again the member token here. Sorry. Okay. Come back here. This is the admin token. Now I'm putting the member token. It's again working. Okay. So this is how you use the role-based access controls in AutoJig. Basically, in order to use the role-based access controls, the session needs to be enabled, and you need to assign the roles to specific users when you are creating the sessions. After you create the sessions, if you need to update the roles or the access groups, then there are a couple of nodes here that you can use: add access group to session or remove access group from session. So you can add additional roles or remove roles from the user, and whenever these nodes are, let's say, executed, run, it makes the update across all the active sessions of the user. So it doesn't work just on a single session, it updates all the active sessions of the users. Okay, this is how it works. This is how you protect your endpoints using the role-based access controls. Whereas when you use the AutoG client library, the story is a little bit different. In the AutoG client library, you need to use the object level security, which I will be explaining in the succeeding videos under the application security. And in the object level security, you can also use a role-based access control in order to, in a finer detail, check whether a specific database action can be done or not, and you can also put additional security not only on your overall backend application but also to the actions that you can take using the AutoG's client library. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope this helps.